3 of the Davis's FSD cross-country road trip, Family Rules. We close out this series with stories of love, friendship, family, and home. Yes, home. There's no place like it. Really. We're in Tucson. Let's see what she says about that.
Kathy Q says, I'm at the store.
Oh.
I'll text you when I get home. Almost done.
Okay. All right. She's at the store. You were taking a selfie and you didn't realize it, and Google just turned it into a cinematic moment. I like how it just kind of launches.
And it knows the speed limit and everything?
Yeah, it actually scans signs.
Oh.
It also has data, but most of the time it just reads the sign. It's got a camera, it's 2 cameras right there. There's a camera on each fender. There's also a camera on each B-pillar, like right about here. And then a camera on the back, right by the license plate frame. And so it's using all those cameras to kind of see around, it sees all directions at once. Mm-hmm. And then it also uses them to judge distances between us and other vehicles, and basically it drives like we would drive. Except it does a better job.
I was about to say, there's human error.
Yeah, and that's the scariest thing about riding this, and I said this on a video, is that you've got other people that, that are dangerous behind the wheel. It's just, you notice it more after you ride in this car quite a bit, is how bad people are at driving. The decisions humans make compared to the decisions this robot makes.
Too, in a parking lot?
No, not yet. So if you go into a parking lot, you can automatically park. You can automatically parallel park, but it's not going to pick a spot for you yet.
I see. That makes sense.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so here's the demonstration of it for you.
Oh, Jesus. Wow.
So
Does it just do that on its own?
That was me.
Oh.
That was me.
No, yeah, he went back into the manual.
Yeah, you definitely should warn people a little.
I forgot to do that. Sorry.
It's like, well, now she knows.
All right.
But it does take a while for the passenger to get to it.
Oh, yeah.
I've taken my coworkers out, a couple of times, and some of that time they're terrified, really, frankly.
How are you doing, Mom?
I'm not too bad.
This is really cool.
It does a better job than you would expect.
Yeah. It really does.
But Tucson is a little bit slower and a little bit more retired. A lot of the people that live here. So
Stevie will go around, things like that. This is another nice feature of the car.
What about that? Stevie didn't go around that big.
Oh.
Yeah, we had a roadkill incident, a couple of roadkill incidents on the way here.
And it aimed for one of them.
Really?
Not
Well,
really,
it seemed
no.
like it moved
It failed
over a little
to
bit.
avoid.
It moved over a little bit and smack hit it. So anyhow.
It essentially failed to avoid. And another one, it actually did go around it on a 2-way highway, and it actually, was...
Yeah, that was because somebody.
Oh, okay, I'll take over. Tell you, it has been a great couple of days here in Tucson. We are headed back home. We're going to stop in Santa Fe for the night and enjoy that a lot more than we enjoyed Albuquerque on the way down here. So headed north to Minnesota. First stop, Santa Fe, New Mexico. Pam's trying to convince me to turn the AC off so we charge faster. we might just do that. It says here to get to 100%, we're going to need to be here for 45 minutes. So that's probably not a bad idea. If you're ever going through New Mexico, I recommend the Continental Divide gift shop. It's a lot of fun. They've got fireworks, restrooms, gifts, fun clothing, all kinds of stuff there. And it's just a trippy store, a really fun store. You gotta go. And they have more than one around the Southwest. So Continental Divide, you can sign up for a 10% discount there. Highly recommended. We're approaching Deming, New Mexico right now. We're going to get charged there. This is a record for us. We've got the battery down to 40 miles range. We've only got 7 miles to go. It's 13% state of charge, and we're living dangerously. We love it. We are assured that we're going to have charge when we get by. We're going to make it there. We know we're going to make it there, but this is just a little bit closer than we usually do. Again, some beautiful scenery around here. We're going to be going to Santa Fe today. That's going to be a nice place to stay. We're back in Socorro, New Mexico, at a supercharger by a Best Western hotel. In good company here. We've got oh, they just took off. There was a Cybertruck right there. The elusive Cybertruck in the wild. Okay, so here's McDonald's, where I had a quarter pounder on the way down, just before news broke of the listeria or whatever the stuff is that is making people sick from these quarter pounders. I had one of those right there. Charging at 125 kilowatts, which is pretty good speed. 500 miles of range per hour of charging. An update from us. We are headed back home. We are in Kearney, Nebraska right now. The car still drives itself. It's been driving itself the whole way, almost. Here we go, from Kearney to Norfolk, Nebraska. Dang. I can't remember where we started out this morning, but anyway, we're in Norfolk, Nebraska at the moment, at a Hy-Vee, a charging station at a Hy-Vee, and we're making good time. We're going to get to our hotel in Worthington, Minnesota around 7:15, if all goes as planned. Funny thing about going across the country on a road trip in an electric car is, these days, it's not like being in a gas car where in a gas car, all you really need to do is okay, it's a quarter tank, and where's the next exit? Or, I need gas, and it's there. You've got a station there. With EVs, they're more spread out. There aren't nearly as many chargers as there are gas stations, which is pretty obvious. But that means you have to plan. You can't just get down to a 25% state of charge and say, okay, where's the charger? Oh, sorry, you're not going to make it there, because that's kind of how it would be unless you plan ahead. You plug in your destination, and it gives you a list of all your stops, which could be 150, 200, 250 miles apart. Usually not 250. Usually more like 150. And so you get there and you charge, and then you are given an estimate as to when you need to stop next. You charge until you don't have to anymore, meaning that it factors in, how far it is until the next charging station. So it says, oh, okay, you can go now. So that's what life is like on a road trip in an electric car today. When the charging infrastructure is increasing, which it is, when it has increased to be as prevalent as petrol fueling infrastructure is, then you won't have to plan this much in advance. You can basically say, oh, I'm at a quarter tank. Where's the gas? Or, the energy. So that's a spiel on taking a road trip and charging and all that. We don't have much scenery video from around here because it's just not that exciting. just for a second, I'm turning that on just to greet those of you in Minnesota who wondered if we'd make it back alive. We are here, and we're about 6 miles from Worthington, Minnesota, where we're going to spend the night. Until tomorrow morning, take care, guys. Beginning the final leg of our journey, cross country between Minneapolis suburbs and Tucson, Arizona. We are in, where are we?
Worthington, Minnesota.
Worthington, Minnesota. That's right. We started out, and we didn't remember this the other day, yesterday, but we started out yesterday in Colby, Kansas. That's where we were. Once I figure out how to get out of this parking lot, we're going to go charge up and get ready to go to Bloomington, Minnesota via 2 additional chargers. And then we'll arrive home, plug in for the overnight charge. That gets us ready for work tomorrow. I lied. I don't need to charge again on this trip. We're in Worthington. It's just a single charge before we take off. And then we'll be in Bloomington. We're going to primarily be using Minnesota 13. We'll be on I-90 for like a second. Then 60 for a mile. And then, like a mile, 1.1 miles. And then Minnesota 13 for 153 miles till we get to 35W northbound. And that's the journey today. It's not going to be so bad. So we are going into the car wash to wash off the dirt and the dust from Arizona, New Mexico, Colorado, Kansas, Iowa, not necessarily Iowa, Nebraska, and Minnesota. So we're going to wash our hands of all the stuff we've seen and been through on this trip. Although it was a great trip. It was a great trip. The car almost came to a complete stop at a green light, which was really weird. We don't know why it does that. This might have something to do with the car wash I just got out of. So we've got some sensors that are wet, maybe still, particularly the back camera. And car, when it turns green, you can go. There we go. Automatic opening garage. The MyQ system built into this car is great, and the mirrors fold automatically and gives me plenty of room to get into my garage without breaking them. Okay. All right. So if you've made it this far, thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. Before you go, please click the like button by all 3 videos and consider subscribing to the channel so you don't miss any of the educational and entertaining content that I'll be posting here. See you again soon.